Well, hey there, YouTube. It's Pete Two Finger here again. I got another recommend video for you today. This one is a Frank Zappa album called Thing Fish. Thing Fish is 1984 Frank Zappa. It was a double album. There's Thing Fish demos taken from the Zipper Man CD. Geez, I gotta get my hand on that. Now, it says here from the Wikipedia, in April 1984, Zappa published a 21-page text extract plus photos of the musical comedy Thing Fish in the pornographic magazine Hustler. 7 months later, the soundtrack was released, but the staging of this work never took place. The title character's name was derived from Kingfish, a stereotypically black character from the 1952 TV show Amos and Andy. Thing Fish speaks in a similar accent, narrates the story of a young couple who desperately try to fit in and go to any length to accomplish their impossible goals. In the plot, Thing Fish has been deformed by the government's biochemical warfare against gays and minorities as part of a right-wing plan to cry divine retribution, a la Frank's theory about how Republicans started the AIDS virus via religious missionaries vaccinating of overseas primitives. The resulting fear of God helps value-preaching conservatives get elected, and it also allows them to return favors to religious groups and televangelists who've donated campaign funds. Of all of Frank Zappa's discography, Thing Fish must be his most controversial, misunderstood, and overlooked album. Obviously, it's not a masterpiece, but reducing it to a compilation album with a racist plot distorts the reality. First released as a 3 LP set, and reissued on 2 CDs, the album is the original cast recording of a never-produced Broadway show. Working class Joes have been mutated into potato-headed, duck-mouthed creatures by a government experiment gone wrong. They put up a Broadway musical in which reality and fiction have become two members of the audience. The main character, Thing Fish, is played by Ike Willis. His thick, caricaturated Negro accent is directly taken from Amos and Andy's Kingfish character. Zappa's intention was not to mock African Americans, but to ridicule the way they are depicted on Broadway, mainly as white, male-dominated milieu. Harry and Rhonda, the two audience members drawn to the story by force, are played by Terry Bozzio and Dale Bozzio. Harry will realize he is gay. Rhonda will turn into a brief-cased fetishist. Zappa exaggerates the yuppie trends of the mid-'80s. Harry is gay for career purposes. Rhonda embodies the ultra-feminist and slips into the plot. Concerns about the spread of the AIDS virus being the result of government scientific experiments. It's crazy, it's offensive, barely holding together, but it sure is entertaining. To accommodate the plot, Zappa wrote a couple of new songs and re-recorded tracks from Zoot Allures, You Are What You Is, Tinseltown Rebellion, Ship Arriving Too Late to Save a Drowning Witch, with new lyrics. It's definitely for the seasoned fan. The conceptual continuity makes an integral part of the experience, but more than just rehashed material. We at Stagecraft Entertainment had worked for 4 years to actually bring the project to the stage. The only musical that Frank Zappa had ever written has been something we just had to do. It started out as an idea back in 1999 when Tony Iommi was listening to the studio recording of Thing Fish, the original cast recording. It was a recording put together from already resisting material and newly recorded studio material. The piece in its entirety has never been performed on stage. It has never been performed as a theatrical production until it took a year until Tony had Tony and his little crew had permission from Gail Zappa, the late composer's wife and head of the Zappa Family Trust, to perform 2 scenes. Having tasted blood, the triumvirate Daniel Knapp, Wolf E. Raths, and Tony Brem moved the project forward until they received permission to perform their own adaptation in the London Theatre. An authorized adaptation of Frank Zappa's Thingfish opened the opera season at the Battersea Arts Centre. The help of an international cast crew of 32, a handful of sponsors, and private bank accounts of Knapp, Rahifs and Brem made this production happen. 4 sold-out shows and an international audience, as well as extensive media coverage, made up for the effort and the money spent. So I was completely unaware that this thing happened. It looks like they did a few shows. I originally got a cassette copy of Thingfish and wore it out. It had a part of the J card you could cut out and mail it in to Barking Pumpkin Records, and they would mail you a libretto. So I did that. I have my original libretto. I should have went and got it. It's a large book with photographs of the concept art. The album is long. It's, like I said, it's 2 CDs worth of material. It's a lot. The production is slick on it. It's very much a Zappa concept album. When you're listening to Frank Zappa, sometimes the recording qualities will vary, and it sounds like stuff was pieced together, or this was recorded at one studio, this was recorded at another. Thingfish has a very glued together, it has a distinctive sound to it. It has more 80s production sound. It doesn't really date well. It sounded great when it came out. I'm not going to lie to you. I was like, this sounds really good. Like, amazing. Now listening to it, it does sound a little dated. There's like gated reverb on it and stuff that just really isn't used anymore, because when you hear it, you automatically think 80s. And the other problem with Thingfish is it's filthy. It is so disgustingly dirty and embarrassing to listen to. Like, my copy wore out, and I went and bought another copy of it, and I put it in on the way back from this record store, and my wife got embarrassed and demanded that I stop. She just couldn't handle it. So this is, it's definitely not for the meek or I got to put it to you this way. I was able to overlook all of that simply because of the whole package of the thing it's massive. The music in it and the story that it tells is it eclipses all the other elements, and it becomes this thing. I have to say, I've always felt it was Frank Zappa's magnum opus. It was just, it didn't get any better than that. I know a lot of people have different mixed feelings about Thingfish. So if you've never checked it out, I'm going to link original, I think it's the original 1984 version, and that's available on Vimeo.
Once upon a time,
it's on Vimeo. So there you go. If you are a Zappa fan and you've never checked it out, or you're not a Zappa fan, check it out. It theorizes that the AIDS virus was created by right-wing America, by the CIA, FBI, and it was very well to work on minorities and homosexuals. And there's all kinds of other things intertwined in this. There's a lot of social commentary. It's powerful stuff. It's funny stuff. It's embarrassing stuff. The music is really the standout for me. So check out Frank Zappa's Thing Fish. Give that a listen. It's an hour and a half long recording. Now I've got to go look into that live performance and see. I really don't think there's anything that exists from that. I really don't think that there's any footage that exists from that. I have to see. Anyway, you guys, enjoy and peace.